Welcome to Money Making Conversations. It's the show that shares the secrets of success, experienced firsthand by marketing and branding expert Rushion McDonald. I will know he's given me advice on many occasions, and in case you didn't notice, I'm not broke. You know he'll be interviewing celebrity CEOs, entrepreneurs, and industry decision makers. It's what he likes to do. It's what he likes to share. Now it's time to hear from my man, Rushion McDonald. Money Making Conversations. Here we go.
Welcome to Money Making Conversations. I am your host, Rushion McDonald. I recognize that we all have different definitions of success. For some, it's a sizable paycheck. Mine is helping people wake up and inspiring them to accomplish their goals and live their very best life. These are my passions, and that's what I'm going to do for you by inviting people on the show that can share a story, that can uplift you, motivate you, make your dreams come true with the right planning. I want you to stop tripping over small challenges and prepare to rise above the bigger obstacles that life will present to you. My next guest, Jonathan McReynolds, is a Grammy-nominated and Stellar Award-winning artist, songwriter, and producer. He is also the founder and CEO of the record label Life Room Label. Jonathan has served as a judge on the last two seasons of BET's hit competition show, Sunday's Best, which wrapped his 10th season this summer and he's also performing on the 51st Annual GMA Dove Awards, which will air on October 30th on TBN. Please welcome to Money Making Conversation, my man, Jonathan McReynolds.
I do. How you doing?
Pretty good. Hey, Jonathan, for Steve Harvey and I, for many years, man, we did Celebration of Gospel on BET. And we saw the evolution of gospel music. I like to believe, that became, and I don't want to use this wrong, how the star power of gospel music grew and grew. Am I saying that incorrectly? Because I felt that with social media, you guys became venue acts, arena acts, and where you were initially was just regulated to church venues. Yeah. And so, and it was amazing watching that because of the fact that, people will come in and do red carpets and all that. And it was how is your role in watching that growth? What changes have you seen? What do you think? Has it been the music, the style of music, or social media that has led to that tremendous growth in the brand of gospel music that we hear today?
Well, no, I think it starts off with just the music, man. When you have, the Kirk Franklins of the world that, they have released music that, might have started in the church and might have been, meant for, gospel music listeners, but they crossed over and became, big songs just,
nightclub hits.
Whether they were gospel or not. Marvin Sapp never would have made it.
Come on now.
Yolanda Adams, Open Up My Heart.
Come on now.
I Need You Now, and Smokey Norfolk. All of that stuff.
About to make me cry, Jonathan. Come on, man. Don't do me like that. This is early in the interview. Never would have made it, man. So, never would have made it, brother. Come on now.
Yeah, all those songs, they really just created a bigger platform for our generation. So now we're not even just looking at, what Sunday service can we sing at? No, we're thinking of, hey, we can go into these big venues, theaters. Right. We can do club tours. It doesn't matter where we are. We bring the same thing. We're going to bring the same atmosphere, the same music. It doesn't matter where we are. But when we go to these different places, it allows people, whether they were in church every Sunday or visit just on Easter and Mother's Day, or they haven't been to church in 10 years, they all come to hear the music. And so it's just been really an amazing time to live in and do gospel because, the platform and what we can do with this music is absolutely bigger. And I have to credit, those incredible artists that I just mentioned and Mary and many more that really just, changed the game for us.
All those names, very familiar with. I know that I'm from Houston, Texas, and Kirk Franklin is from Dallas, Fort Worth area. And I remember when his first hit song came out, which he celebrated, anniversary on recently. Then that changed. I remember I was doing a comedy concert. Steve was headlining. We sold out the music hall, and G. Anthony Brown was on the show. And I played that song right before we started our comedy show. Why We Sing. Yeah. And it was just a breakthrough song. And, Mary, Change, Shackles on Your Feet was a dance floor hit, And then Kirk Franklin came back with Stomp. That was a dance floor hit. And so all this music, we in a club drinking and finagling around, but we out there dancing and I like to believe soaking in the word, but also dancing to the word. That to me was really a strong transition because, nothing negative, but, up to that point, gospel music wasn't perceived as a social music. It was perceived as church music. And when they started, and I do give a lot of credit to Kirk because he transitioned and made it a crossover hit, a phenomenal hit, not just a baby hit, phenomenal hit. And God's Property was out there doing things and touring doing plays and all those good things. So, but when I look at your talents today, Jonathan, because social media plays a big role in who you are. Tell us how you use it because it creates a lane of independence for you that 10 years ago was not available.
Yeah, I think that's the big shift that we're seeing. Even though labels are still important and are still relevant, and we're blessed, that labels have much bigger pockets than we normally would have, especially when we're starting off. Social media still gives us that opportunity to reach directly to the crowd. Directly to fans, directly to people, directly to other believers, and even pastors and everything. They can see what we're doing, what we're releasing, what we're working on, even if they haven't seen the official promotion, from the label, that they haven't heard the official radio single yet. They can still see, kind of firsthand what we are and what we're working on. And so I think social media definitely allows us to do more. Even back in Kirk Franklin, when he was changing the game, it was pretty simple then. It was kind of, well, not simple, but it's kind of straightforward. You release a record.
Right.
You gets on the radio, whatever, hopefully it hits and gets to number one on the radio chart. And then maybe we'll do some gigs around it. But now, there's so much more we can do. We got, we can do tours, we can do contests, we can do hashtags and just have, trendy things. I was actually nominated for a Grammy for a song that wasn't even a single, but because it had such a viral nature to it. And people all the way from, pop stars at Disney and, Escape and all these other people, they were singing this song, singing this run, and it became so viral that it actually had impact on the Grammys, even more so than the radio single that went number one. And so it's just a different day where there's less rules, and the whole point is just to make something that really speaks to the people, speaks to the culture, and you'll win.
Now you're doing your latest single, "Moving On," featuring my boy Marley Music. That's my man there. That's my man right there.
Yeah, good.
Now, how did you guys get together on this single?
Hey man, honestly, we've known each other for a very long time. I had to remind him that a long time ago I used to sing with a group. 5 guys. It was like
wait. You singing with a group? What were y'all doing? That didn't sound like R&B right there, Jonathan. Singing with a group. That sounds like New Edition right there. That sounds like New Edition for gospel, huh?
It was close. It was close. We had some of the same moves sometimes.
There you go.
But we were singing gospel, and he actually was doing a concert, and we were like opening for him at his concert.
Mm-hmm.
And he actually pointed me out during his set. He pointed me out and he prayed for me like in front of everybody. And I think from then on, God was obviously speaking to him and letting him know that he's going to do something special with me, even outside that group. And sure enough, 10 years later, man, we're working together. That's my friend throughout. And we decided it's about time that we actually did something together. And Moving On is our baby, man. So I'm just really proud of it, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to drop that because I had him on the show, man. Fell in love with the dude, man. And I like to believe that he impacted me and I impacted him. That's why I founded Money Making Conversations, to be able to talk to the behind the scenes concepts of why people are great and then share those values on my show and hopefully inspire people to see that they can do it too. And so when I look at you, you gospel, now you've been on TV. How has the impact of being a judge, because I've been on Sunday's Best, because that's a tricky role to play because you have to be constructive, but not what they say, damaging the people and getting them to the next level. You did one season? What did you do? Did you make any changes to your style the second season, Jonathan?
Nah, now I would say that this second season, they showed a lot more of our deliberation, and so people really got a little more mad than normal than the first time. But yeah, I think that I've actually enjoyed it. It kind of, I always love special things that kind of bring you outside of just the normal, recording and performing. So I really enjoyed it, man. But honestly, you just have to, at the end of the day,
let it out, Jonathan. At the end of the day, what? They can't sing, you have to tell them, huh?
At the end of the day, and you can ask, I was talking to Jesse Collins, who is the producer.
That's my man, Jesse Collins. Uh-huh.
Yeah. He was just like, man, gospel fans are the hardest fans ever. I mean, you would think that these people couldn't sing if you looked at Twitter. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And they are great. They're just not everybody's favorite. And so at the end of the day, no matter how hard the judges are, regular people that probably can't sing are still going to be even harder. And so I think a lot of the contestants, I can still talk to. They still DM me from time to time. They still fill me in, still ask me for advice and help on certain things. So I think, it's all love. They understand, that, we have to be critical, but we just wanted to make them better. And over the time, you see how they become not just singers, because church is full of singers. But as you were talking about, because the industry, the genre has expanded so much because of people like Kirk and Marvin and Mary
and yourself
anymore.
Because let me just, I cannot deny play down what you do. Okay, because you're playing an important role because of the fact that you're a decision maker. You're defining people's careers and also people's voices. And then when it comes to gospel music, the problem that church people, because I've done tours with Steve Harvey now. We did a tour with Kirk Franklin, and I went out there and they were telling me you need to market on church radio station. I go, that's where the church people at, and I wasn't selling no tickets. I was on all the church, quote unquote, church radio stations. When I went back to R&B stations, Jonathan, I started selling tickets. So that lets me know that you can't define that audience, or sometimes you can't even locate that audience, because they all have values that can mislead you into saying this is where they're at. And so when you're dealing with church songs, just because they can't sing, people feel their church music, that might be tied to a happy moment or a dark moment in their life, or somebody was sick and so when they hear somebody singing it, and in their mind, when they heard it, that's what's going to stay with them forever. And so that's why they're so hard when it comes to church music, because church music is different. I can hear a different version of a Marvin Gaye song and I'm cool with it. Boy. Yeah. Come on now.
But don't mess up my church song.
Come on now.
I understand.
Come on. And that's
a good point. Yeah, you're right.
Absolutely. And that's why when I look at you, man, I'll be checking you out, man, because, my boy Kurt and everybody, and Jesse's doing the production over there at BET. I've always been a big fan of what they're doing for the gospel lane, because of the fact that, we all know that these type of shows aren't always the best, most watched shows, but they need it, man. They're necessary because they fill a void, and they also allow us to share in I call it good food, eating good food. All you want to do is good food for your soul. And that's what good church gospel shows are. And so with you being a judge, has it helped your brand from a social standpoint or from a marketing standpoint? You walking in the airports, people recognize you. You going to 7-Eleven, people say, hey, my man, Jay. How's it helping your brand overall?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's great because, honestly, because of the way my music is, and honestly, you're saying that, back in the day, or back when you guys were touring with Kirk, you would see that the church folks and people that wanted to come to the concerts, sometimes they're listening to the R&B stations. Well, it's even more spread out now. You think you kind of knew. You can't even track black people now, much less the black people that go to church. Right. We all over the place. Right. You know what I'm saying? So bring in when you get to do the type of music that I do, and I've been actually touring clubs and venues. I haven't toured a church in a very long time. As far as just going from church to church. So the thing is, we get to find people in different places, but BET Sunday Best, that was still kind of a hub for a different generation, like maybe an older generation of gospel people that, you know, before everything got all chaotic, you know, before we started spreading out and, you know, our generation, we barely went to church growing up, you know what I'm saying? But the generation that really did, you know, they're still watching Sunday Best, and those are the people. Oh, absolutely. They'll call me Young Buck in the middle of, you know, the airport, Young Buck, because that's what Kirk calls me. Right. So I know that's where they got it from. I know they watch it Sunday Best.
Well, I love Kirk Franklin, man. He can do no wrong with me, man. That brother, man, is so special to me. And, you know, of the 13 years we did Celebration of Gospel, that branded Steve Harvey so deep in the Black community. So I know how loyal Black people are. And so you're getting a base, Jonathan, that is loyal for you, will follow you to your grave and pray for you when you're sick and celebrate your success. And that's what you really want when you're talking about your brand and building your brand. And then from an educational standpoint, you have a master's in what now? What's your master's in?
I got theology, a master's in biblical studies. Yeah.
And so you're a professor at Columbia College. Tell me, how are you marrying all these different lanes and still be a good looking guy? You know, because in the end, you're still a good looking guy. Okay, John?
Thank you, man.
Let's go be real now. You're a good looking guy now. A lot of things going on in your life now, you know. How you juggling all these balls up in there?
It's definitely a juggle, bro. It's definitely tough. So,
but I love it, man.
For me as I grow stronger, yes, sir.
Because
I mean, it's crazy, man. I love all those lanes, man. I love the different looks. You know, I love being an adjunct professor at Columbia. That's probably one of the favorite parts of my life.
Right.
I took off for this semester so I could tour, but you know, that's really one of my favorite things to do is teach. As a matter of fact, I've had to choose between singing and teaching. Unless the Lord told me something different, I probably would choose teaching. So it's just really, you know, one of my favorite parts. And, you know, all of that, man, it keeps me, you know, it keeps you, you know, the Bible in Ecclesiastes, it says, invest in 7 ventures, even 8, because you don't know what disaster will come upon the land. Basically, you don't know which one of these things are going to succeed. You know what I'm saying? So don't put all your eggs in one basket. So I really appreciate, you know, just kind of diversifying, not just with money, but just with my enjoyment in life and my fulfillment, that it doesn't always have to all come from music and singing. But there's some that comes from teaching. There's some that comes from my nonprofit, which is Elihu Nation, which is really even more teaching just about wisdom and more spiritual things. Those are the things that really keep me fulfilled and you know, diversifies my life.
Well, you know, first of all, you know, he recently gave out $30,000 in scholarships. We're going to go there by this nonprofit. Let's tell everybody what he does. He speaks it and he does it at the same time. But you had an upcoming performance coming up on the 51st Annual Dove Awards. Tell us about that. It's October 30th on TBN. Another big branding moment for you. When I talk about Money Making Conversation, it's about branding. It's about marketing. It's about doing the things to keep your platform moving forward. You have great relationships with my man Music. You got, you know, Kirk Franklin. You're teaching in college. You touring in clubs. You have 2 back-to-back seasons on Sunday Best, and now you have the Dove Awards. That really is what you're trying to do. You're trying to build a model for success.
That sounds good when you list it like that. Thank you.
Well, look, I'm just repeating what I know about you. I brought you on the show because guess what? You got it going on. When I start saying, and that's what I want people to understand is that sometimes people are pigeonhole you. Oh, you can't do this. You're only supposed to do this. And I say to anybody, there are 24 hours in the day. Learn to take advantage of each hour. That's what I tell people. So now, if you're struggling saying I'm not a morning person, there are people out there who get up in the morning and do things while you're sleeping. And that's the type of person I see you as, Jonathan. You're a person that said, God has given me the ability to wake myself up, breathe, and move forward physically with no restraints. You know, I'm not.
Well, I'm gonna say I'm not always a morning person, but I'm definitely I'll stay up all night until it's done person too. So
well, you know, you got if you push it morning before you get up, you got to get some sleep to get back up. Okay.
Yes, true. Yeah.
So I ain't gonna get mad at you, Jonathan. So tell us about the TBN experience that you're gonna do with the Dove Awards on October 30th.
Yeah, man, I'm excited about it, man. You know, GMA has always supported me and my music. It's kind of a platform that, has tried its best to kind of diversify the Christian music experience.
Yes.
I mean, we got some stuff over here in gospel, but there's CCM, there's that worship music, there's hip hop, there's bluegrass. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch that falls under Jesus music, and so they do what they can to kind of show and platform all those different things. And so I'm honored, man, that they brought me on the show. It's proven to be a real good meeting ground for a lot of different cultures, especially in these crazy times of protest and just kind of racial tension and all the other stuff. It's been a really good platform to kind of talk about things from a like-minded space, saying what brings us together at the very least is Jesus, So we have been able to have real good conversations. And then, I'm going to sing, and it's going to be really dope. I like the way that they're positioning the whole thing. It's really just tell the story of racial tension and unity,
awesome.
But how the church could do something about it.
I tell you, I just had Lecrae on the show. We talked about that. My boy Travis Green has been on the show. Molly Music, we just talked about. He's doing the single with you that's moving on, that's out now. And now Jonathan McReynolds, I want to thank you for coming on the show, man. Grammy-nominated, Stellar Award-winning artist, songwriter, producer, all around. You got 24 hours in a day, and I tell you, this young man, he may not be a morning person, but when he goes to sleep, he's tired. I'm just letting you know, he's tired.
I'm definitely
tired.
That's a good way to say it.
Hey, Jonathan, thanks for coming on the show, man. I thank you for coming on the show. Hope you had a good time, man. I know it's the first time I've interviewed you on the show. I always know these doors are open, man. When people come on the show, man, I put your brand out there, brother, on social media, newsletters, all kind of things, because your brand needs to be recognized as a true success story, my friend. Okay?
Thank you, man. I can tell you're a really good brother. Thank you so much, man.
We'll talk soon.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate you. We talk soon, my friend. All right? If you want to hear more Money Making Conversation interviews, please go to moneymakingconversation.com. I'm Rushion McDonald. I'm your host. Cool.